All right, everyone. Today we're going to be doing lesson 10.5, and our learning target is I can solve world problems involving volume. So we've been learning a lot about volume, and here's a basic rectangular prism. Here are the dimensions. They are all listed. Okay, our unit is inches, and you can see in our animation that they're filling up the length, which is 8, or actually this is our width. This is our width of 8 inches. And when we bring in our length of 4, our base is filled up. You can see the bottom of the box is filled up with 32 square inches. Okay, that's going to be multiplied by 6 because our height is 6. And when we use our volume formula, we can see that the volume of this rectangular prism is 192 cubic inches. And that's how you would read this final answer, 192 cubic inches. We could also take a look at another prism here, and I like this one because usually our length is written down here at the bottom. But if this rectangle has the same dimensions as this rectangle over here, you can't see the other side, but you can imagine it. If this is 3 meters, that means this side must also be 3 meters. That means this top side must also be 3 meters. And there's a length down there that you really can't see, but if you look carefully, you can imagine it in your mind, it's also 3 meters. So looking at rectangular prisms in different ways helps us to really visualize them. To find the volume of this rectangular prism, we're going to use base times height formula, which has the length times width already built in. Our length is 3, our width is 10, our height is 5. That gives us a total volume of 150 cubic meters for this rectangular prism. Today we're going to look at this word problem. And I thought this problem was a little tricky at first, but it's almost like a puzzle. You have to really take your time to figure it out. It says an office building surrounds a rectangular open-air courtyard. What is the volume of the building? How did you find your answer? Well, if we look really carefully at this picture, this diagram, we can see that here is the building with all the windows and goes all the way around. It's in the shape of a rectangle. And inside of the building, right in the middle, is a courtyard. And a courtyard is like an open space where maybe there's tables and chairs where people can sit and walk around. Sometimes buildings, residential buildings, have courtyards where kids can play and run around, and there might be a playground in there. They want us to find only the volume of the building. They don't want us to find the volume of the courtyard with the building. They want just the building. Well, first, I think I'm going to find the volume of everything, the building and the courtyard together. I'm going to use my regular volume formula, length times width times height. Here's my length, here's my width, and here's my height, 26. These numbers are kind of big, so I need to really make sure that I multiply using my area model or maybe even the standard algorithm and double check my math to multiply it out. The base of this building and the courtyard all together is going to be 6,080 square yards. I'm going to multiply that by 26 because that's the height of both the courtyard and the building. My final answer says that the entire building, including the courtyard, is 158,080 cubic yards. Now, I know that's the volume of everything, but they only want the volume of the building. I think I'm going to take away the volume of the courtyard. I need to get rid of the courtyard. So I need to find that volume. How much space is in the courtyard by itself? Well, here is my length, 14. It's really shown right here clearly in my picture, in my diagram. The width is 30, and the height is still 26 because the courtyard isn't taller than the building. It's not shorter than the building. It's the same height. I'm going to use my multiplication strategies to find the length times width times the height. And this gives me the volume of the courtyard by itself, 10,920 cubic yards. So now that I have the volume of everything, the entire space, the building plus the courtyard, and I have the volume of the courtyard by itself, what do you think I need to do to find the volume of the building only? Think about it. I think I'm going to subtract. I'm going to take away the volume of the courtyard from everything else to find the volume of the building by itself. So remember, the original volume of everything together was 158,080 cubic yards, minus the volume of the courtyard, 10,920. I see here I needed to regroup. Make sure that you do that whenever you have a subtraction problem if it's necessary. And my final answer is 156,988. That's the volume of the cubic yards for the building by itself. So I've answered the first part of the question. That's the volume of the building only. Now I need to tell how I got my answer. Here's the volume of the building by itself. First, I found the volume of everything, the building and the courtyard. Then I found the volume of the courtyard by itself. Finally, I subtracted the courtyard from everything else to find the volume of the building by itself. It may seem like it's a little tricky, but if you break up these pieces, you should be able to figure it out. Here's a tip. Sometimes when you go into Envisions, in the Envisions pages, you'll see two things that I really want you guys to take a close look at. Here, it says click on the icon to view the figure. When you click on that little button, any picture that is related to the story will pop up. You can't solve this problem without looking at the picture and the diagram. It has all of the measurements and it gives you all the information that you need. So make sure you click on those buttons. This little blue button right here. Over here, where it says question help, if you get stuck, you can click on that and that'll give you some steps to help you get started on solving the problem. So use that as well whenever you can. I really hope that this helps you guys. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to do the second part of this activity and click submit when you're done or turn in. Bye.